the lighting orange? I'm sorry. Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. And today we are tackling the July TBR. Now there's only 3 books left on this July TBR and then 1 bonus book. There should be no spoilers ahead, so if you haven't read any of these books, that is okay. And I just want to preface that I'm recording this intro the same time that I ended this video, or the same day that I ended this video and did the outro. So that will explain the same shirt. This is the TBR card and the 4 books that are going to be read in this video. And there should be timestamps in the description of when each book is. Let's begin. Okay, so my cheeks might be a bit red because I woke up from a nap just now. I only wanted to take like a 30-minute nap. I took way longer than that. But I did make some progress in Never. I've just been reading it on my Kindle. But I got to page 43 on my Kindle before I took that nap. So I believe I'm in chapter 3. Also, we met Jameson, which is Hook's son, in chapter 2. And oh my gosh, already love him. And this book utilizes footnotes, which I thought was interesting because I've never seen like a fiction... I want to call this a fairy tale retelling because it's like a Peter Pan retelling, so I'm calling it a fairy tale retelling. And I am so annoyed by Peter Pan. It's just like, he really acts like an immature child. From what I know, he, like, his body has grown up, but he hasn't in his mind. I don't really know. He's more boyish than Jameson Hook, which is the son of Captain Hook. And wow. And he has tattooed arms and yada yada. No hook for a hand. And I really hope, because it is supposed to be a love triangle situation, I do really hope that she chooses Jameson. One, because he's less immature. He's more mature, if you will. Especially right now, Peter literally is the most annoying person on the planet. He's literally so annoying. I cannot. So, I want to get to at least page 100 today. So I would need to get to... I'm going to look on my Kindle because it will be easier to look at that, to figure that out. Because it shows the chapters, what page they start on. To chapter 6, which would be page 101. And I'm in chapter 3 right now. I think it's doable. Probably I'll do that on my Kindle. Maybe I'll film a little clip before I go while I'm in bed. I don't know. Alright, it is the next day, approximately 1 p.m. I did have to work today, and I have an update and some thoughts on this book, a little bit on this book. So, but right now, no spoilers. But, so last night I was reading on my Kindle. I was reading Never on my Kindle, and I was like, oh, I'm just gonna read. I got to the chapter that I wanted to get to, which was chapter 6, because that's page 101. I got there earlier in the day, and then I was like, okay, I'll read a few chapters on my Kindle before I go to sleep. And then before I knew it, it was 3 a.m. and I had finished the book. So I basically would say I read this in one day. And for the most part, I would say I read it in one sitting, aside from like the first 100 pages, but everything else I read in one sitting, and 300 something pages. And I had to work today. So I was up until 3 a.m. and then I literally could not get myself to go to sleep because I was just such on a book high, just reading like basically almost this entire thing in one sitting. And it ended on a cliffhanger that I absolutely hated. And I know there's going to be a second book. I know it's a series, so I know there's going to be more than one book. But like, when is that book? When's it going to come out? This was released in December of 2023. And we're literally halfway through 2024. When's the next book? I'm going to need it ASAP because of the ending. But if she doesn't end up with who I want her to, I might quite literally throw my book or throw my Kindle. I cannot with the ending and the emotions this book put me through. I was on a roller coaster of so many different emotions. I was annoyed. I was laughing. I was giddy. But then there were some things where I'm like crying, and then some things I'm like, what are you doing? And at the very end of it, I was like crying, but I was also like, what the heck? Why would you end it like this? I mean, I know, good reason, cliffhanger for the next book, you know. And quite literally, my first Just a Hastings books, I would say, for the most part, is a success. But there were some things in this book that I did not like. Now, I wouldn't say this one is some of these things are spoilers, so I will let you know when I talk spoilery. One thing that I didn't like is that our main character, Daphne, like, in the beginning of the book, she is 17, and then, Peter's like, he grew up a little bit. I wouldn't say mentally, physically maybe. I wouldn't say mentally at all. He's like 18, 19 throughout the entire book, from what I know. He didn't have a birthday in the book, so Daphne did. She turned 18 in the book. And then Jameson, oh my god, I love him. He is 22 in the beginning and turns 23, like, I think it's 2 days after she turns 18. 2 days after something. But the age thing, like, the age gap isn't really what bothers me. I don't really care. It's just that the fact that she started out 17. Jameson didn't, like, act on anything while she was 17 and waited till she was 18 to do anything. But even then, he still waited a while, which I do appreciate that. But I just kind of wish that she started at 18 in the beginning instead of 17 and then turned 19 in the book. I think that would have been better, because reading her waiting to turn 18, just waiting to turn 18 for Mr. Jameson to do, I don't know, kiss her, just kiss her even, or, you know, do the deed, if you will. It was weird, and I was very annoyed because she's like, and then she was like, when she turned 18, she's like, I just turned 18. You remember I'm 18, right? That was annoying. And then Daphne, she's very quick to doubt people, which in Neverland I can kind of understand, but at the same time, like with Peter, I definitely get that. And like with people she does not know, I get that. But like when it came to Jameson, like the first time I'm like, okay, I get where you're coming from. But then the next time I was like, really? And I absolutely cannot stand Peter. I don't want to say I hate him, but I strongly, heavily dislike him, to where anytime it was scenes with him, I wanted to chuck my Kindle across the room. And then with Jameson, I was eating it up. I was like, oh my god, I love this man. And then with Daphne, I was like, girl, I really question your judgment sometimes. And I wouldn't call this spoilery either. The fact that she kept defending Peter for things that he did or said to her, I'm like, girl, stop defending him. Yeah, he's forgetful. He chooses to forget that. He doesn't even remember your name. Ever. He kept calling you Wendy, for starters. Or girl. I'm sorry, but he uses girl in a derogatory way, okay? And it's very annoying, and he's so annoying, and but also, he has the mentality of a freaking 5-year-old. Like, in what world is that attractive to you? In what world is that a boyish charm? In what world is that a boyish charm to you? To me, that's, oh, he's an immature little boy and he's annoying. I don't care if he looks 18, 19, or if that's how old he's supposed to be. He's not that old mentally. And even then, 18, 19-year-olds aren't that mature, but they're mature than how he acts, okay? And I just cannot, I literally cannot with him. But what saves it for me, this book for me, is Jameson and the scenes with him. And like, the overall plot, I would say. I did enjoy the plot. the scenes with Peter, I really, really wanted to chuck my Kindle across the room. Much to my dislike of not wanting to. Obviously, I didn't throw my Kindle, but I wanted to. I was close to doing it a couple times. And I wish you could have seen my face during those scenes, but I digress. I didn't really record much of me reading this, like, at all. Because I read it through the entire night until 3 a.m. Anyway, I rated it a 4.75. I debated on 5 stars because I literally devoured this book. But simply, Peter just ruined a lot for me. Not the book overall, but, like, he just ruined a lot. And I was so tired of him. So, it's not a 5 star for that reason. And I need the next book, like, ASAP. And the next book is Girl Abroad, so hopefully I'm not annoyed and wanting to chuck the book across the room. And give some lightheartedness. And hopefully I don't cry in this one. I don't think I will. Let's go on to the next book of this video. Alright, so I think it's been a day or two since, but I do have a little quick update for Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I think when I was explaining this book, I said that there's a love triangle between both of her roommates. No, I got that completely wrong, completely mixed up. So, one of the love interests is one of her roommates, and it's the rugby player one, which his name is Jack. And then there's the broody musician with a girlfriend, which is Nate. He is not a roommate. And then another roommate's name is Lee, and the other one is Jamie, and Jamie is the reason for the no fraternizing rule, or whatever. I am at chapter 24. I got to chapter 24 today, and I want to read more tonight, but just because I still have a little bit of a headache, I'm not sure if I'm going to, because I don't want to make it worse. Alright, so I finished Girl Abroad, and she does end up with who I wanted her to end up with, especially out of the two love interests, the one that has a girlfriend and the one that's just her roommate. I'm gonna be honest, I did think about DNFing it once or twice, because, to be honest, I wasn't really connecting with the characters all that much, and just Abby, she doesn't make the most smart decisions. She's not very rational. She doesn't think things through. She's literally flirting with a guy who has a girlfriend and her roommate. She's lying to her dad, and like then there's this whole mystery going on with this painting that she found at this yard sale that she went to do a project on, yada yada yada. But like, to be honest, since I couldn't really connect with all the characters, I couldn't really get into it the way I wanted to get into it. I couldn't get into it the way I got to, say, The Deal or the first two Campus Diary books, The Graham Effect and The Dixon Rule. And I don't know what it is about this book, but, well, I know what it is. It's just the characters. There's nothing to make me connect to the characters. And part of me wishes that Abby was not the daughter of a famous musician, for one, because she also kind of made that, like, I don't want to say she made it her personality. She didn't. She wanted to, like, stray away from that. She didn't want to be known as, you know, Gunnar Blythe's daughter, blah, blah, blah. But then, first couple times that they asked about her life, you know, blah, 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 she just goes into stories about her dad. Girl, enough. I get it. Your dad was a famous musician. I get it. You don't want to just be known as this famous musician's daughter. But you're kind of making it hard not to associate you as that. Because it's really such a main focus. She's like, blah, 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 blah. And then she's always like, talking about how overprotective her dad is, which I get there are overprotective parents like that. I don't think those overprotective parents would have let you go abroad. They were just really, the main thing was like I couldn't really connect with the characters, and it makes me so upset because I really, really wanted to enjoy this book. I really, really wanted to love it because it's a study abroad novel, and I love novels that where they're like studying abroad. Not a rational thought in this girl's brain, okay? Now, I don't know what I want to read next, but I think it's between two books right now. It's either One of Us Is Next by Karen and McManus or Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. I'm going to figure out which one I want to do and get back to you. So, I think I'll start with this one. Okay, so I don't know what I last said, to be honest. It's been like a day or two. And I know I said I was reading One of Us Is Next as the next book. And I have gotten to chapter 8 by audiobooking. I started the audiobook at work today. So I got to chapter 8. I think I'm just going to audiobook this one because it's just, I don't know what it is, but I'm not into it as much as I was the first one, which is upsetting to me. Upsetting to me, to be honest, because I really wanted to enjoy. The pacing is not nice. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy the pacing, but also I think since I've read a lot this month, a good amount this month, my eyes are like, okay, you need a break from reading with your eyeballs. It's time to audiobook a little bit. But also, I think I'm just a little, I don't know what it is, but actually I know what it is. I'm kind of over the concept of this book, which has a similar concept to the first book. That's it for this quick update because I don't have much else to say other than that right now. Alright everyone, it is time to get some things done. Okay, I want to make my bed, even though it's 5 p.m. This is a TBR video, tackling the TBR. This is not a doing book stuff video. This is a TBR video, tackling the TBR. Especially the the July TBR. Speaking of which, I have one more left on that TBR list. One more left. And that is Capturing the Devil, so this will probably be the next read. Because I want to get all the July books that I wrote in my reading journal complete. And this is the only other one I have on there. I think I've already stated that I was not the biggest fan of like bringing back that truth or dare game or get a secret revealed. Being brought back in this one. I kind of just wish it was like something a little bit different, something a little newer. I did find myself getting a little bit more engaged around chapter 30 to the end, but like that's not even half of the book. I am giving it a 3.75 because, like I said, for most of it I was not really vibing with it, especially compared to the first book. But the ending, I enjoyed the ending, so I am starting the audiobook for the third book, and I don't own that one like physically at all. That one, I'm just going to do it off camera. I'm not going to record anything of that, well, especially because I'll mostly audiobook it at work. Now, I believe I'm doing this one next. The last book, Capturing the Devil, is now completed. Fourth book of this series. I am rating it a 3-star, and I'm very sad to say that because I really enjoyed the other 3. This one, it just didn't have much of the mystery aspect, I feel like. It was more focused on a different thing, but it also brought something back in this book from the very first book. And I just didn't appreciate that, and I also looked at the other 3-star reviews after I finished it, after I rated it already, And a lot of people agree with me, and the people who rated it lower have like similar thoughts regarding stuff I can't really say, or else it would be a spoiler. I do still recommend it to, like, you know, conclude the series as well. If you are reading the series or thinking about continuing, I do still recommend it. 3 is just like 3 doesn't mean bad or like I didn't enjoy any of it, but it's just like, you know, in the middle point, the average. That's it for this video. The 4 books in this video. Well, the 3 July TBR books, and then the 1 bonus book, which was One of Us Is Next. It's a sad, sad outro, to be honest. This is a sad outro because I only really enjoyed 1 book, and that was the first book of this video. That would be it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed, and let me know your favorite read of July, since this is the July TBR video. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.